Hello and welcome to Oracle Storytelling. End of year edition. Um, Super spectacular messages edition. I'm recording on my tablet, so I'm trying to figure out where I need to be looking for this camera edition. So I was reminded by social media that I've been making these videos for just over a year. And I mentioned that, one, because it's a cool thought. It's cool to think I had an idea one day to be creative, as I often do, because creativity is something that really lights me up and sparks me and lifts me up and is healing. And I think that's true for everyone. And so I just shot a video late one night. So it's really funny. It's a terrible angle. The whole. It's great. But you never know where an idea will lead you. So if you're thinking about maybe shooting a video, if you're thinking about writing a poem, writing a blog, taking a picture, whatever it may be, just encouragement to say you never know. You never know where the creative idea will take you, and maybe it will take you into the next year. Who knows? Give it a try. So I decided to do something a little different for the end of year. I'm doing a spectacular messages edition. So I've decided to do message from a teacher, message from the fairies, message from the animals, and message from the divine feminine. I'll take a sip of. Sorry, I'm recording on my tablet because I tried recording this a few other times. It's been quite a something, but my hair looks very red. I'm happy. It is very red, but So, so I've done it a little different. Instead of a story, it's individual messages. And so for message from a teacher, I went with my number one spiritual teacher, the only person I've ever thought of as a spiritual teacher, mentor, just person who, I just makes sense to me. I get them. Very loving, very kind, always looking at things like a Rubik's Cube. So I went with Matt Kahn, and I'm going to read a paragraph from Everything is Here to Help You. And to help me, help me find paragraph to read, I used the Flowers of the Night Oracle, and I asked for help with getting a message from a teacher, and I drew the card Understanding. And you see it's this little froggy, and he kind of looks like, I don't know, he's either pensive or he's looking up at the flower, like contemplative and looking at the moon, or whatever you see is correct. So this is Understanding, and the night blooming serious. Are you serious? Yeah, super serious. Serious. So the page number becomes the page number from a little booklet will become the page number I'll read from. And so this page has the title at the top of True Emotional Freedom. Facing our feelings is a matter of experiencing sensations from the soul's perspective. So from the soul's perspective. From this viewpoint, the soul separates each emotional response from the characters that appear to trigger them. So in an interaction with someone, separating them, their actions, from your response. Inherently, this is forgiveness in action. Once we are able to be attentive to each feeling without blame, each sensation is given the unwavering attention of unconditional love, facilitating deeper levels of healing. Okay. And again, with the understanding card, and there's one part in this, the message for this card that I wanted to read. This flower speaks of new perspectives and leads us to explore inner wisdoms, which may have been a little hard to find in the past. So for me, what really comes up, and I think for a lot of us, because I know we've all had, a lot going on this year and some difficult things come up. So with the finding new perspectives and understanding, it says this is forgiveness in action. Personally, I'm working on forgiving someone, forgiveness around a situation, which to me feels like a mountain, like chipping weight forgiveness, the size of a mountain. And when it says new perspectives that lead us to explore inner wisdoms. So with this person's situation, it's a new situation for me. And the person involved removed themselves from any kind of responsibility, They took no responsibility and they gave no empathy. And this is just one of those situations that just really hit me and has been difficult. I'm a sensitive person, empathic person. I like to find understanding within myself. Yeah, explore levels of new perspective, new understanding. I also like to, if I don't just sense or have a knowing about someone else's understanding, I want to know it, especially when I face new situations and feel very impacted by them. And again, I know that you can't have somebody offer you that, even a shred of responsibility or a shred of empathy or sharing how they feel or what they understand. But some situations come up and they're new and they're hard and they just take a little longer to integrate and understand and find understanding. So for anyone else that is dealing with a hard time finding forgiveness around something, I'm right here with you, and so are a lot of other people. And for the times when it's a lot easier in situations and people that, don't hit you with that same impact, just remember, whenever you can take the high road, and for myself, most of the time it's pretty easy. And you can identify that somebody's ego has their mouth or their actions, running amok, running a million miles an hour. And you can take the high road. You can put the brakes on and go, yeah, I know what this is. Yeah, I've seen this before, and 1,000 other incarnations and versions of this person or this action. So for all the other times you can, take the high road. Take the high road. And for the times when, you hit a few forgiveness situations that are really difficult, just know that while you can't have the other person make any effort, or that your efforts that you're making, that you're feeling, that you're working on benefit you and will pay off, not just for yourself, but for the others that are in your life or new people that come into your life. And you always have that. So if you're feeling like this little, I don't know, whatever you see is right for you, but I'm feeling this little pensive frog, and I feel like, you know, I'm in that understanding, kind of looking up to the moon, you know, moving through the phases and cycles, and just, you know, kind of waiting for that new moon feeling, waiting to free myself with that forgiveness, and welcome in a new moon. Okay, so that's a message from a teacher. Oh, this recording is going so much better. I can't even tell you. It's been, whew. So, message from the fairies. Isn't this exciting? Fairies are amazing. So, I've chosen to use Fairies, Myths, Legends, and Lore by Sky Alexander. I love this book. It's fantastic. It's filled with all kinds of tales about fairies from all across the world, and it's just amazing. It's an amazing book. It's so fun, so cool. And I don't have a fairy oracle or a fairy tarot, but I do have a fairy tale oracle. So I've used that to help me get a message from the fairies. And the card that I got was the Little Match Girl. Done a few recordings. And the key word here is choice. Okay, and the reading message from the fairies is, there is a latent fairy in all women. I will say all men and women. How about that? But look at how carefully we have to secrete her in order to be taken seriously. Which makes me think of, like, fearful to be yourself. Holding yourself back instead of putting yourself out there. And fairies come in all shapes, colors, sizes, and types. They don't have to be fluffy. They can be demanding and furious if they like. They do, however, have to wear a tiara. That much is compulsory. So with the choice card, and the message from the fairies being, I'm just going to read this again. There's a latent fairy in all men and women and men. But look at how carefully we have to secrete her in order to be taken seriously. And fairies come in all shapes, colors, sizes, and types, and they do not have to be fluffy. They can be demanding and furious if they like. They do, however, have to wear a tiara. That much is compulsory. So it makes me think of choice. It makes me think of putting yourself out there. It makes me think of showing up as yourself, for yourself, even if you're changing day to day in the way that you present yourself or show yourself. It's showing up for what's coming up in you, what's coming through and authentically to you. And there was one thing in the fairy oracle that I wanted to read, which is, remember that you have within you the source of warmth of light, and within you is all you need to recall and bring forth family and love and beauty. So everything within you brings forth this warmth, this light, and family, love, and beauty. So we can't, sit holding hands with our loved ones 24/7 physically. We can't physically do that. But within us, we have the ability to call forth our family, to have that connection, and have that love, and have love and self-love and beauty, the beauty around us, that being observant, being aware of the beauty within everything, the beauty in nature, the beauty in the environment we put ourselves in, the beauty in the details that we place around us. So draw on the visions, the imaginings, and the memory, even when you suffer, and you will find a way through. So again, when, if you're hesitating to, message from the fairies being, if you're hesitating to show up for yourself, with yourself, as yourself. Everything you need is within you. You know, if you feel like you can't, like you can't make a choice, you don't have a choice without the help of, you know, without somebody, metaphorically or physically holding your hand, like a family member or a friend or whomever. It's within yourself. So you have it within yourself to do that, to show up, to be present, however you are. So in any shape, color, size, and type. You don't have to be fluffy. You can be demanding and furious if you like. You have a choice, right? So kind of back to that first, the first message, we have a choice. We can be upset, you know, 99% of the time, 99 times. I can go, I identify that's your ego. I'm not going to run away with it, or that's you and this is my reaction. 1% of the time, I have the choice. I have the choice. I can be furious. I can be, you know, devastated. I can be. I have that choice. However, they do, however, have to wear a tiara. That much is compulsory. And to me, what the tiara that the fairy message is talking about is self-love, is knowing your worth. So the tiara is the knowing of your worth. Like, you know your worth. Wherever you are, however you show up, you carry that with you. It is compulsory. You must wear a tiara. You can know your worth and feel devastated. You can know your worth and feel jubilant. But you must wear your tiara. Okay? Whatever your tiara looks like, feels like. Maybe you actually have a tiara, which is fantastic, and kudos, and oh my God, can I borrow your tiara? That would be great, thank you. Okay, so that's a message from the fairies. Message from the animals. So I used Ted Andrews' Animal Speak book, and I use the Animal Tarot for the help with a message from the animals, and got the Ace of Autumn. So it's a calico cat, and so you can kind of see there's like coins falling, and there's just plenty. There's a big bowl of food, and says you can expect a windfall of abundance, such as money, timely assistance, a serendipitous meeting, or rewarding advice. You may be offered a fabulous new job or promotion, or the prospect of a profitable business venture or investment. Okay. And the message in the book is from a hummingbird, and I recently acquired, oh, went very yellow for a second, a hummingbird. So I'm going to wear this while I read. The hummingbird may be the smallest of birds, but it is also the most fascinating. Anyone who has ever seen this tiny bird is filled with a sense of wonder and joy. Oh, completely. Its name comes from the vibration of its wings as it flies or hovers. We have all heard how it is good to whistle while you work, but humming is much more effective. It creates an internal massage, sounds relaxing, restoring health and balance. This the hummingbird reminds us to do. It reminds us to find joy in what we do and to sing it out. Can't find this camera for the life of me. Okay. So both the messages are about, it's, so when it's saying whistle while you work, find the balance pops out to me, and this card being about work, you know, speaking to work and money and job. So finding the balance at work, finding the balance in what you do, and find the joy in what we do and to sing out. So not only find the joy in what we're doing, but sing out. So kind of like the last message saying, show ourselves, show up, sing out with where we're at and what aligns with us. And I did want to mention that in terms of job, to remember that, you know, your job is not your life purpose. And if you ever feel overwhelmed, like you're in the wrong job, you know, it could just be, you know, you're feeling drawn to a new experience that's more aligned with you in terms of learning from a new environment or work situation. But, you know, your job is not your life purpose. You can't, you know, you can't get fired from your life purpose. You can't lose your life purpose. It's just something that follows you through life. So I know that's something that happens a lot, taking stock and where do we want to be and setting goals. So I just bring that up because I know that that's something that sometimes can mount a lot of pressure on someone. Well, I need to be living my life purpose, and living your life purpose is just living your life. It's going to be infused in whatever you do. It's just part of who you are through your life. So, you know, finding balance at work, I think, is a way more relaxing and profitable, emotionally, physically, everything goal to focus on. So that's the message from the animals and from myself, obviously, with my 2 cents. And now we have a message from the Divine Feminine. I just got this book. I've heard a lot of good things about it, and I heard the author speak about it, so I'm very intrigued. It's Mary Magdalene Revealed by Megan Watterson. And I decided to use the Mother Peace Tarot to help me get a message from the Divine Feminine. Very divinely feminine deck. And the book is just very scholarly and densely informational. So this is the card I got was the Star, which I love. I absolutely love. And so there's the title. It's the beginning of a chapter for this book, which is Like a Same-Sex Divine Feminine Noah's Ark. So I guess visualize that. She reached out both of her arms across our small table in a dimly lit restaurant in Brooklyn. I took Inanna in my hands first. Inanna, I'm so sorry, I know I'm not saying that well. The ancient goddess of heaven and earth, she spans the length of Kate's forearm. So it's a tattoo. I told her to tell me the story again of how she felt initiated when she was having the tattoo done. She got a tattoo, and everyone watching this should get a tattoo. She felt this warmth, a natural numbing sensation every time the tattoo artist touched her forearm to slowly dye her skin with the image of Inanna. Okay, so I did make some notes because my mind was racing after I put these together last night. And like I said, there's a lot of information in the Mother Peace Tarot. So don't mind me here. So both of these, both the book with the Divine Feminine message and the Tarot card of the Star, both speak about initiation. So this is after facing a shadow, dark night of soul, or in the case with Inanna the goddess, after going into the underworld. So your faith, there's this deep facing. And the Star talks about opening, you're opening up, okay? So you're opening to the goddess. And I like how the first sentence says, she reached out both her arms across our small table. So I like there's an opening. This starts with it being open. You're opening. There's an opening up, right, to another, to more than yourself. You're you're able to be open, which is wonderful. It's wonderful. Who doesn't love feeling like they can be open? It's a fantastic feeling. So the star represents the calm after the storm. In Tarot, the star comes after the Tower. So the Tower is kind of all this massive change and upheaval. So it's, again, like the dark night of the soul type thing. And after all of that change and upheaval reaches its completion, what's left standing is your foundation. So that's what's left there. Think of a tower that crumbles to the ground, and then you look down, and what's left there is your truest inner self, your foundation of self, regardless of what happens in your life. What is there? What do you come back to? What do you build on? The foundation. So it's a chance. So at that point, it's a chance to take a close, undistracted, unfiltered look at yourself. And if you choose to do that, then it brings you to the star card, the initiation. Okay. It's like you've passed to a new level. Something has opened you up. And the message from this card, this tarot card, is in part to take time now to bless yourself. Okay. Do something nurturing and self-loving. You are the goddess. You are love itself, which is a beautifully, divinely feminine, or you could just say divine message. Okay. But we all know where we came from, right? Our moms. Anyway. Yeah, so these tower moments are different. So tower moments could be a series of events or one event. You could lose your job, then you could lose where you live. Your car could get, hit by a truck, or you could lose your partner and your closest friend, or it could be a single event that kind of ripples out into everything else in your life. Like it could be like a death of someone very close, very core important to you, that just this death just shakes everything. It is the tower that crumbles and lets you step forth from your foundation and really see where you are. It could be a death, could be an illness, and that illness, an illness could happen to you. Your body could change form in ways that radiate out. It could be instead of an illness, it could be an assault that happens to you, and then for your mind and body that radiates out. And then just one more note, which is the image of the star is restorative, because this person right here, so she's acknowledged and accepted that the change is what they've gone through, and there's that open space to fill with restorative healing. So I think overall, the messages that are coming through are very, very loving. So we're speaking of the star, which is a beautiful, beautiful card. And when you think of a star, you think of them shining so brightly, but they're shining so brightly amongst and like out of the dark. It's kind of like even that, like think you're pulling yourself out of the darkness. You go, yes, I am, I came from the darkness. Now I'm the shining star. You have this message from the animals, which talks about, there's a sense of balance, and sometimes part of life is balancing your money and but it's beyond that, balancing your well-being. We think about money, we think about abundance, and abundance Abundance really means having enough. And overabundance means having like a lot, a lot, a lot. But a balance can be abundance, and abundance meaning you have enough of whatever you need, and enough is enough. Enough is enough. And from the fairies, we're you know, step out as who you are, whether you're somebody that knows your self-worth and is wearing a tiara of devastation and that's self-worth, or knowing your self-worth and wearing a tiara that you're speaking in jubilant terms. You have a choice. Use your choices. Know yourself. Learn about yourself. And then our first card, we have understanding. I don't know. I just with this whole message, again, I think of forgiveness. I think of finding understanding. I think again of kind of that star card. You're in the darkness. You're kind of, but in the middle of the darkness, if you think like this is kind of the light. This is the star that's blooming, right? And then can you bloom? Will you be that blooming flower? Are you going to be serious? So I hope some or all these messages connected with you. And if they did, if there was an animal or a fairy or a teacher or a divine feminine figure that is in your life that you can turn to, and I'm sure there are, maybe ask them for some more messages before the end of the year, and just stay open, wear your tiara, bring it with you everywhere you go, and have a beautiful, blessed, exciting, awesome, interesting, uncomfortable, fascinating end of 2019. And we'll see you in 2020.